Deep dive number one.
Yep.
We got Raiders and Chiefs. Wow.
Whoa.
Your guy, John Gruden, is doing it with the Raiders here. They get the win. They outscore the Chiefs. You don't see a whole lot of teams do that.
Very rare.
40-32 was the final score. So this was 13 straight wins for the Chiefs, including the playoffs. That's gone now.
Yep.
They had won their last 7 home games versus the Raiders. Gone. Mahomes was 12-1 in his career versus the AFC West.
Gone.
12-2 now. That one's gone. And in 36 career starts, Mahomes never lost by more than 7 points. Gone. So all that is gone now. So I'm going to ask you.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
All of it.
It just shows you the Chiefs' greatness while I'm trying to brush them here. So let's talk about the Raiders O first. Raiders O, Chiefs D. And I'm going to give you 3 elements to the Raiders offense here, and I want you to tell me which one was most impactful.
Okay, cool.
Was it Henry Ruggs III back on the field, giving them a deep threat?
Right.
Was it that Raiders running game that was able to fritter away the clock at the end of the game, keep the Chiefs offense off the field?
Yep.
Or was it Derek Carr with a career-high 11.2 yards per attempt going downfield more?
Wow. Okay. So that's a good 3 to put it. And all right. So this is the way I think I would look at it. I would go the run game 1. I'd probably go Henry Ruggs 2, and then Carr 3. Okay. And I have reasoning here because I don't know if there is a, as far as it pertains to Sunday, all 3 were very important. But I do think that the success of the game first starts with the fact that the Oakland Raiders have a run game that a team like Kansas City or any team has to worry about. You have to worry about when you play the Las Vegas Raiders, that they are going to bludgeon you up front. That is a real thing. It's the biggest O-line in football. Gruden's very smart, not overly creative, but they never waste a play in the run game. And where I say it's important is because it forced the Chiefs to play some defenses that I think maybe they didn't want to, or they just went, man, if we play coverage, they're just going to smash it down our throat. So that led them to playing some defenses and calling the bluff of the Raiders a little bit, where they got caught, and we'll get into it, where they called the bluff and they went, I don't think you'll throw it deep here. I'm going to play really aggressive, stop the run, and you might throw a short pass and call those type of defenses, and that wasn't the case. And then that's where Henry Ruggs comes into play, because Henry Ruggs is a game changer. They're a different offense when he is on the field. There's no doubt about that. It's like Kansas City losing Tyreek Hill. Yeah, they're still good, but it's a huge part of just the weaponry and opening up other people. Ruggs is a difference maker. There's no other way away. He gets other people open, and he is got 3 rockets up his ass and plays bigger than he looks out on the field when it comes to 50-50 balls and all that. And then comes Derek Carr, who I don't want to say he deserves to be 3rd here or anything, because he played really awesome. I mean, he really did. He did a lot of good things. The interception was the only dumb thing he did all day, and that was really a good play by the Chiefs, doing something that they don't do that well all the time, and Bashaud Breeland making the play. So I think that's how I would rank it. Everything the Raiders do is set up by, we always talk about sometimes, as a team, you have to do something elite, right? Their elite thing is their O-line, Josh Jacobs, we will overpower you. That forces teams to, it forces teams' hand to stop that or do something so you don't die that slow death. And that led to, I think, some of the big plays we saw in the past game.
So for the Chiefs, they've had a hard time stopping any team on the ground, let alone a team that can run with the offensive line like the Raiders here. So Kansas City now has allowed 140 or more rushing yards in 4 straight games. They got 158 rush yards allowed per game, 5th most in the NFL. So this is a problem for them that they're going to need to try to figure out. Because it wasn't just the Raiders. This has been happening to them.
No, it has been happening. But let's also not forget, they've played the Patriots and the Ravens, who are teams that are very good at running the football and sometimes can have even skewed numbers that way. When you play the Ravens, sometimes you could have a great day stopping the run.
Totally.
And then Lamar has 3 scrambles, and that goes against your rushing stats, and you're like, the teams, people look at it and go, well, they ran for 150 yards, and you're like, well, it was really just Lamar on 2 plays. The rest of the day, we did pretty good.
You always do that to me. I'm trying to tell a story with the numbers, and you throw context in there.
Well, but I understand what you're saying, and nonetheless, I think Steve Spagnuolo realized that as well. I think he realized it and went, wait, the Patriots, what they did to us last week, that really put us in a bind. And it kept Mahomes off the field for a large part of the game. So in this game, on a few plays especially, hey, let's go to the 3rd and 2. It's 21-17, right? they're going to throw the deep bomb to Henry Ruggs. 3rd and 2, it's a tough down for a defensive coordinator, especially when you're playing a team like the Raiders, because you go, wait, it's 3rd and 2. They could just run it up our gut and run it for a first down. They could throw a screen. Gruden's got a million short passes. Spagnuolo went for it. He went, you're not going to run it and you're not going to throw it short on me. So he basically played like a cover 1 look, right? They blitzed 5 guys, and they had a safety down in the middle of the field, only like 5 yards deep, looking for somebody to come across, short crossers, short slants. That's all he was looking for. Mm-hmm. Well, Gruden called up the right play, and Derek Carr was smart enough to see, wait, they're going to play this with Henry Ruggs on the field, and I got a post called here. If he's going to play there, I don't care if he turns around and runs at the snap. He's not going to catch my guy. And Carr makes a great throw to where Ruggs never has to slow down and hits the big touchdown.
They beat Charvarius Ward on that. He's a third-year guy at a Middle Tennessee State, playing more this season than ever before.
Yes.
About 80% of snaps.
Right.
So, not ideal.
No.
Nothing against Ward, but he's just a guy that's not been out in that position before.
No, not his best day either. Because we can go to the prior touchdown before that, and I could also sit here and blame Ward, Charvarius Ward. So on that play there, again, does he deserve blame? Sure. Is he put in a spot that's almost unwinnable there when they call that play? Yes. So before we all go like, oh, man, the analytics team says he's the worst at this, that was a really tough position to be put in. They were in a bunch set. He's playing outside because he can't get inside him in a bunch set, or he can get picked and he's just going to go free. And there's no safety in the middle of the field. So he's trying to, cover the guy man-to-man, but there's nothing on the other side of the field to even threaten the guy. So once he gets off the line scrimmage clean, it's a foot race, and that's just one he's not going to win.
Unless he's as fast as Ruggs, which no defensive back
not really
is.
Exactly right.
So
exactly
you're not
right.
going to be able to do anything there. Okay.
Now, he had an issue on our touchdown to Nelson Aguilar.
Okay.
That makes the game 14-10. People want to know what happened there. It's 14-3. You're going, ooh, Kansas City looks good. This looks like the typical Raiders-Chiefs game. They're going to kind of blow them out, and here we go. Well, what happened on that play there, is, again, kind of caught West not recognizing what was going on quick enough. It was the speed, Ruggs is on the right? So he's on the right. He fakes the speed sweep going to the left. So now he's out into the left. And Aguilar is also on the left in a tight split and is going to run a post route, of course. Darren Waller's on the right. He runs the deep crosser. They run deep crossers a lot. They do that, Waller, short crossers, deep crossers, all of it. Well, they played a quarters coverage basically, where the safety, the safety 22, Thornhill, he crashes to take the crosser in Waller. Now it looks like it's Matthew one-on-one, right? If you look at the highlight, anybody watch it, you go, well, Tyrann Mathieu's one-on-one with Nelson Aguilar. Well, yes, but he's really playing quarters coverage, and Charcandrick West, who's the corner, if you're the quarterback, right? He's your right corner on the right side. When he sees his guy go across, he's got nothing to worry about anymore, right? So now he has to get back to his deep quarter, and he doesn't recognize that he has no coverage threat coming towards him. So he needs to get back, and that's why the post goes all the way across the field.
Right.
And that's where he gets to see Waller go across and really get on his horse quicker to take away that deep post. It's a tough play again. They're asking a lot of their corner. Right. There's no doubt about that.
So listening to you talk about the Raiders' offense here, your boy John Gruden's he's doing some stuff.
He is.
Like he's figured some stuff out. He's not only that, I mean, they were super excited to get Ruggs. You could tell that. They thought that might be a missing piece that could open up other parts of their offense.
They love him.
And the fact that they were able to throw deep in this game, and I heard you talking with Florio, and Florio was kind of making the impression that Gruden's been dying to get Derek Carr to throw deep for a while now. And is that the case, or was that just the way this offense was designed and the plays he was calling, and now last game was a game where they just opened things up together, him and Carr?
Yeah, no, I think it is to what you're saying, I think it is a little the case. Gruden has to be forced to throw the ball down the field. Trust me, I've been there with him.
Yeah.
That's not.
So that was as much Gruden as
I think so. And I think also with the fact of we got to play Kansas City and Ruggs is back, I can't think that I'm always going to go on a 10-play, 80-yard drive. We're going to make some plays here to take a little, pressure off, and we're going to match Mahomes back and forth. And, yeah, that's where I give Gruden a ton of credit. I mean, Derek Carr way to go. I mean, really, he threw very few bad balls all day long, and he was aggressive in his thinking for the most part. And I think this is the thing that really, really I was impressed with Gruden. Gruden was really patient with the run. Even when there was times where you go, man, you could throw it here and just get in a total shootout. But I think he looked at it and went, I don't know if I want to just get in a total shootout where we're just going to drop back and throw it every play. That's not our best suit. And if it's that type of shootout, I don't know if we're going to win. I think that's just I think that's what his approach was. I think he was like, I'm going to run the ball, control the clock, and every now and then when the opportunity presents itself and I feel like, ooh, I got them in a down and distance where I can kind of think they're going to do something aggressive and we can take a shot, that's when he took his shot. He didn't get overzealous to go, I'm going to take a shot on first down and second down, and then all of a sudden it's 3rd and 10, and you're like, it's 3rd and 10, and now we're going to punt the ball back, right? So he ran the ball sometimes into some looks where I would go, John Gruden normally would go, we had the bunch of rule. There's a bunch of where we're trying to run the ball. Mm-hmm. Why the would we run it over there?
Yeah.
Let's run it somewhere else. But or let's go to a pass play. This game, there was a number of runs where I think normally he would have said, let's check out, let's get the spider to banana, something like that, blah, blah, blah. And I think he just said no.
He was like, no, we're going
to run the ball.
Jacobs.
I got a good running back, a good O-line, and they got a weapon on the other side that I'd like to keep on the sideline a little bit and not really let him get in a rhythm. And I think it was a very nice blend of being aggressive and conservative at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Jacobs probably still a little underrated. Because you think about him because he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield.
Yeah.
And a lot of those, you're like, okay, good scat back kind of, good on 3rd downs. But no one spent less time behind the line of scrimmage than Josh Jacobs.
I was going to say, he had no holes all day.
He was, trying to, he was attacking the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
And I'm thinking specifically of that touchdown early in the 4th quarter.
Right.
Where Chris Jones had an arm tackle on him, blew right through that. And then just ran over Juan Thornhill to get over the goal line. So, I mean, Josh Jacobs is good, a good pass catcher, good shifty back. He's got a ton of power.
Definitely.
He can run over people.
A ton of power. I mean, it goes back to our old adage. Look at his legs and ass. They do. They got some real power. And
trust me, I was.
You were good. You better be. Yeah. I mean, geez. And then, but to your point, it is rare because he can make people miss. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. But he has a real sledgehammer quality about him where there's nothing there. Screw it. I'm going to put my head down, and so what? It'll be 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 9. But it's not going to be I danced around, and now it's 2nd and 13 or something like that. I do respect that. And, 23 for 77, that was his stats for the day. That shows you how patient Gruden was.
Yeah.
That really, there's something to be said about that. That's why I was going to say the Chiefs' run defense, for the most part, other than the one Booker 43-yard run, there wasn't a lot of daylight. They like last week, 2 weeks ago against the Ravens, when I said they sold out and said Lamar's going to have to throw the ball to beat us. They did the same thing to the Raiders. They said Derek Carr's going to have to throw deep balls, and we got to see it to believe it before we come out of this. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. And then they saw it, and now they'll believe it next time they play.
Every team's going to believe it from what they saw in that game.
Yeah.
Right? Can we shift over to the Chiefs?
Okay, fine.
Okay, Chiefs here because, there is a correlation. You think of Mahomes and the Chiefs being that deep throwing team.
Mm-hmm.
Carr on passes over 20 yards, 4 of 6, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. You've already established that. But Mahomes and the Chiefs, 3 of 10, 86 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. And really, if you go back to their first game of the NFL season against the Houston Texans, that was a dink and dunk offense. They've been dink and dunk a couple of times.
Yes, they have.
This year so far.
They have.
This game included, they were not able to throw it deep successfully.
No, they weren't able to continue to do it all day long.
Why?
You're right. And, there's a few reasons. Really, the Raiders played it the right way, or let's say this, they played it the right way. They made the right adjustments. That's the big thing to me. Early on in the game, first drive of the game, Mahomes company, they go downfield and score. Second touchdown was off the Carr interception, right? It was only a 28-yard drive, so there was nothing special there. But I think the one thing they started to realize halfway through the next drive, the drive that goes to 21-10 Kansas City, right? This is when I noticed a change in the game. They stopped blitzing. They went to New England, what New England did last week. They started going, F it, we're never going to get there. He's going to find the open guy, or he's going to make our blitzer miss, or he's just smart enough to go, wait, I know there's somebody coming, but I'll float like a butterfly, and eventually my crosser who's running down the field will be faster than your guy covering him, and you blitz me, and I'll just throw it out there, and he'll get it. And that stopped. And that's when I think the Raiders realized there was, a crossing route to like Sammy, or might have been Mecole Hardman, and I went, like in the fourth quarter, because I started to pay attention, I went, I don't think they blitzed since like second quarter. They really stopped. And they started changing coverages every play, playing real conservative. I don't think I saw a play where they called the same coverage back-to-back, the same coverage. Like, never, at any point. And for the most part, it was 4-man rushes, some 3-man rushes, and it was a lot of what I would call basic coverages, but true coverages where, and of course, they knew what they were looking for out of that Kansas City offense. They're talented in the secondary, the Raiders. Their pass rush is not good. And I really praise them for not going, oh, our pass rush isn't good, so let's blitz more. Our secondary is good. We can one-on-one. No, nobody can one-on-one Kansas City all game long. That's not possible. So you got to do some things to help it. Even if you're playing one-on-one, you got to have a guy in the middle of the field, like being a robber, just to take a little pressure off those crossing routes so that guy that's playing one-on-one doesn't have to worry about that. Do those type of things. And that's what they did. I started seeing coverages where I would call Tampa 2, P Tampa 2. P means there's a P dropper. Like one of the D linemen comes out.
You don't want that.
Well,
yeah, you got a P dropper on your team. You're like, that's not good.
He drops out of the line, and now he's kind of spying. And now they're playing Tampa 2, but it's just another guy in the middle of the field for coverage, while let alone they're watching Mahomes as, oh, wait, he breaks the pocket and runs to the right now? Oh, I'm going to go over there and force the issue. I'm not going to let him sit there for all day now that he's broken the pocket and wait for somebody. He's going to have to break the pocket and find somebody pretty quick, or Arden Key was going to hit him and make a sack. So they really had a good game plan that way as far as what they did and then really taking away big plays. And honestly, Ahmed, to your point with the dink and dunk and stuff,
yeah,
they needed to get back to that quicker. They kept calling plays into the third and fourth quarter where I wanted to go, that was cool in the first quarter and early second quarter, but they haven't played those defenses since then. Like, we need to adjust and go back to the dink and dunk and things like that, because they weren't going to let them hit the home run type shots down the football field.
And are more teams going to play the Chiefs like that?
I do think so. I think it's going to open people's eyes in that last 2 weeks to go, maybe we should just rush 3 and not let them extend plays as long and keep people in passing lanes. Because, again, you've heard me say, Kansas City, for the most part, especially when they get into like modes they did yesterday, all the guys end up in the same spots for the most part. It's deep crosser, it's fake deep crosser, go to the corner, but they're all ending up in the same areas. And smart defenses kind of know where to look them up, going like, oh, he's over there. Oh, he's going to probably cross over to me or post to me or do all of that. And I felt like the Raiders had a good game plan for all of that stuff.
So here's a lot of numbers that back up what you just said. Tyreek Hill, 78 yards in the first half, none in the second half.
Right.
And per Pro Football Focus, Las Vegas had 5 total blitzes, 3 in quarter one, 1 in the second quarter, and just 1 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Mahomes, 4 for 4, 94 yards versus the blitz.
There you go.
So they wasn't
Well, thank
successful
you. Thanks for bolstering my argument there. But that's it.
He helped you out.
Well, that was a great job by them reevaluating, going, wait, we're getting killed by the blitz. Let's not blitz.
And probably some of it too is knowing that your offense can score against them, right? If you thought like, man, we need to make stuff happen. They might break it on us deep here, but if we don't get some turnovers and don't try to make something happen, then we have no chance.
Right.
It's like, no, we actually can probably keep scoring on them. So let's just play back, and if this game shortens up, that's probably good
That's
for us
fine with
too.
them too, right? They were fine with that. That's why Gruden was going to keep running the ball, even though he was getting 1 yard at a time on some of them. He was just going, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to get us in a unmanageable position, and I'm not going to put Derek Carr in a spot where it's 3rd and 14 and Chris Jones gets a strip sack fumble, or Honey Badger, Steve Spagnuolo calls some crazy defense and they get a tip ball going down the middle and it becomes an interception or anything like that. I think that Gruden really coached a hell of a game, and then Gunther on the defensive side, the D coordinator for the Raiders, really, really good. I mean, the Raiders, there's a lot to be excited about with the football team. The D-line's the only thing I'm not excited about, but they play hard. Their secondary is young and talented. They got young and talented receivers. They got one of the best O-lines in football. You mentioned the great running back they got. And Derek Carr is a really good quarterback. He's not a star. He's never going to be that. But he's really good, and you can win with him, especially if you present him some opportunities like you saw there. Having said all of that shit, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it's a compliment sandwich you're about to do.
well, I'm just like, it's still amazing where the Raiders outplayed the Chiefs, but the Raiders, I mean, the Chiefs still sitting there with, like, chances to win the game.
Sure.
Hey, just like turning points to me that just jump out here more than anything. It's 21-17. Kansas City throws the deep post to Tyreek Hill. Josh Abrams, he pass interference. I mean, it's blatant. It should be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. That doesn't get called. The next play, Mahomes scrambles to the right and sees the backup tight end, Kaiser, going down the middle, hits him right in the hands. It's going to be a 3rd and 15 conversion for a first down, something like that. It's 3rd and 18 maybe. He drops it. It was a huge turning point of the game because the Raiders got the ball, went down and scored, and then it was like a game from that point on to where you went, ooh, the Chiefs are in advantage. They're in advantage. Can the Raiders keep up? Can the Raiders keep up? And that stopped the Raiders from having to keep up right there. I thought that was really a big turning point to me.
All right, so we still think the Chiefs are going to win the division. Right?
Yeah.
But if the Chiefs win this game, we're probably thinking there's a 100% chance they're going to win the division. They lose this game. What % chance would you give the Raiders of somehow figuring out a way to win this division?
It's very little.
Still 0?
Yeah, it's very little. it's like at 5%.
Okay, but that's probably more than we thought a day ago.
They match up good with the Chiefs. There is some areas that they really match up well with. I mean, we kind of mentioned they can run the ball, they can take shots down the field, and when they don't play stupid defenses and play conservative, you can see they can cover. I mean, Abrams, Mullen, the other kid they got, 21, I'm going to blank on his name, this rookie from La Tech.
Oh, he's a rookie. He doesn't get his name.
Amik Robertson, yep, well, there he goes. He did a really good job in the football game, but all in all, I think I was just more impressed with the game plan and everything like that. And you're right. I wrote at the end, 4th and 5, last drive, only blitz in 2.5 quarters. So
there it was.
Yeah, there it was.
There it was. Okay, so Raiders get the victory. You had a lot of positive things to say about the Raiders. Still think the Chiefs are going to be okay. Raiders, too, have had a tough schedule up to this point.
Definitely.
Too. For them to be, 3-2 now after that run? Pretty good.
Well, what's crazy with the last thing I'll say is just the crazy about Kansas City is they're 4-1. They've had a tough schedule, too.
Yeah.
Maybe not as tough as the Raiders. But I don't think Kansas. I'm not sure. Kansas City's played one good game this year. Well, they played one good game. They played Baltimore. That was the best Kansas City Chiefs team we saw. All the other ones were kind of like, I've seen better.
Right.
But they still win, and that's what's scary about the Chiefs is we could be sitting here in Week 10 going, they really haven't played that good, but they're 9-1. I mean, that's just the way they are. They're amazing that way.
And then get better and then go into the playoffs.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, crap, we can't stop them. It's over.
All right, Raiders get the win here.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.